NartOutHere breaking down how nafany defaults T Side ramp on Vertigo. The biggest reason why Gambit are so good on Vertigo, and especially their T Side, is because of nafany. He is the in-game leader of Gambit, and he plays aggressively, which has its pros and cons as an IGL, which you can check out Lucid breaking down the styles of IGLs up here. What makes nafany so successful in this position is the way he is able to read his opponents alongside his aggressive plays to net him kills and information, which will help him call. Before we get further into the video, I want to introduce my sponsor Leadify, an AI system that analyzes your matches from FACEIT, eSports, and matchmaking. Leadify lets you know what you're doing good in and what needs to be improved. They have training recommendations to help you raise your game to the next level. My favorite thing about Leadify is this positional map, which shows you the areas that you're performing well and poorly in. Another great feature is the utility map that shows you your most common flashes and smokes. Leadify will analyze how effective they are. Lastly, I love the weapon recoil analysis, which shows you your spray patterns versus how they should be sprayed. Leadify is free to use, so if you want to improve your game, check out the link below in the description and comment section. nafany starts most round with the ramp smoke. He throws two different variations. The first one is where he stands behind the box, aims at the top right corner of the square, then left click throw. This smoke's mid ramp and blocks off vision from platform to yellow, and vision from top to bottom ramp. The first approach after throwing the mid ramp smoke is that nafany will stick to the left side wall and walk through the CT ramp smoke and his own smoke and scales up ramp, using the sandbag as cover. He's going to kill Omnek, who does not expect him to be there, however Jax trades. From Omnek's POV, he is focused on yellow and if Shiro's opping behind the smoke. This will lead to a 44 in which it favors a tease, and from here, he can call with the information he gained from doing this aggressive play, especially when he killed the primary opper Omnek, and that Jax is also towards ramp. His teammates are relaying their information to him, and from there he can make a call. Gambit will choose to contest Jax ramp, and after they kill him, Gambit do their signature move where they pause and hold to see if the opposing side makes a mistake and pushes, which G2 has two ramp flakes which get punished, and Gambit are able to fall back to B where they end up winning the round. Axel kills the first flanker Nico, then the two Gambit players execute A while Axel still holds the flank, and he kills Hunter flanking, which allows him route to fall back to B, knowing the last player is most likely on A. This mid ramp smoke is really good in denying information, as rush towards top ramp does not see what's going on behind the smoke, which he gets sprayed down and get killed through the smoke. The smoke punishes any CTs that push through, as you see here nafany goes through the CT ramp smoke and is behind his smoke, and he punishes Boris for pushing through. It's a very similar to your half wall banana smoke that T's throw for banana control, and it works the same way. Again, we see nafany pushing through the CT ramp smoke and staying behind his smoke at the start of the round, and he waits to see if anyone pushes yellow, which he does, and kills BlameF. Another way nafany uses this smoke is to get into yellow. nafany has to switch it up and keep the enemy guessing on what this smoke will be used for. nafany is going to find really good timing to kill Sergis, who he hears falling back. nafany throws a mid-ramp smoke and he makes his way into yellow, which he kills Box trying to push down yellow with the flash, however the flash misses. This is one of the most common plays by CTs, either pushing down yellow or ramp with a flash, so be ready for these pushes. The other smoke nafany throws is a variation of the mid-ramp smoke, but it lands more towards yellow, giving him cover to quickly cross the yellow at the start, as well as the smoke acts as a one-way and gives him cover inside yellow compared to the mid-ramp smoke, which does not give him cover inside yellow. Here you see nafany pushing up yellow, killing Sergis. It's very important that one of your teammates is always smoking top yellow majority of the rounds, especially during the buy rounds. In terms of the top yellow smoke, the biggest thing you have to watch for is sometimes CTs at the start of the round will push Ivy and jump behind the beam using the cover of this smoke, as seen here with Ivy's balance, who was able to get a kill into Hobbit, and then he manages to fall back safely afterwards. You saw earlier with the mid-ramp smoke that nafany sometimes goes towards yellow to switch it up. With this one-way smoke, nafany does the same. Sometimes he will throw the smoke to bait out that he crossed to yellow, but instead he is towards the left side wall and pushes up, using the cover of the sandbags. Frozen, not expecting someone to be close, gets caught out, however traded. Again, nafany throwing the one-way smoke and pushes left wall, and he kills Frozen when he swings out to peek ramp, only to find out nafany is already close. The point here is that nafany is always switching it up on how he is using the smoke to keep the enemy team on their toes. This play doesn't always work out, as teams are becoming more aware of nafany's gimmicks and aggressiveness, which the downside is that he'll put his team down in a 4v5. Although Gambit might go down in a 4v5 from nafany's aggressiveness, nafany is able to get the information from being aggressive. Here, nafany runs into Mika's A stack, which he gets killed, and you'll see his whole team heads towards B where there's only one player. Besides this smoke, nafany will use his nades to condition the enemy team, delay the CTs, and to help take ramp control. He mollies in Nade's top ramp. He's going to kill Crad bottom yellow and advances up ramp afterwards as the smoke fades, using the cover of the sandbags. He's going to spot the molly come in from top ramp where he flashes the corner, peeks, and kills Nickelback. This should cause or hold rotations on A. In mid-round, nafany will have his teammates go towards B, while he will try to keep the CTs honest by applying pressure, however dies, and his team will take B with only one CT there. The point being here is that I wanted to show off his nade set, which he throws to condition the CTs. In this round, nafany empties his nade set, making it appear Gambit are working ramp. Multiple players are here, and they pull over the mid player from mouse to help towards A, which is Dexter. Gambit will execute B, and when Dexter rotates back to mid, he is too late to help his teammates and Gambit take B, and this was all due to the fact from nafany's presence. Again, nafany is throwing his same nade set, however the smoke misses, which is fine. Natsar, as you can see, have 3 towards A, and Gambit will split B, taking a 4v2 towards the B site. Natsar's rotator isn't able to help because he is towards A still, off the mere presence of nafany. Gambit will take the B site in this round, and they win the round, which I'm not going to show the rest. nafany doesn't always have to empty his nades in order for his team to execute B. Here we see him simply throw his mid-ramp smoke and then walk it back to B where his team executed. nafany gives the enemy team multiple looks with his nades, and it's hard to know what he is doing based off of it. In this round, nafany still has his full nade set after smoking. He's going to use his nades mid-round to mask that there are multiple Gambit players on ramp and that they're slowly taking control. nafany's going to molly sandbags, flashes Ivy, and then nades box. While he is doing this, his teammates are getting ready to split B. nafany's nades keeps complexity to have 3A, and they're far from rotating to help out mid. After nafany throws his nades, he's going to fall back to stairs where he helps his team take B. Next up, as a default player towards ramp, I want to touch on CT aggression. I showed earlier CT's pushing down ramp in yellow at the start, which here in this clip nafany gets punished for going through the smoke because Jax is mid ramp. One counter you have against CT aggression at the start is spraying through the bottom CT ramp smoke. nafany does a really good job at this. In this round against complexity, BlameF swings top ramp at the start with a flash, and that gives a cue for nafany that there could be someone pushing ramp or peeking from top ramp. nafany will spray the entire ramp and he connects with BlameF and kills him. Just be careful when you're doing this, as you don't want to get caught out in reload if any CTs push through the smoke. For the rest of the round, nafany was going to go towards yellow, however that's going to get mollied out, so he pulls his signature move and walks up left wall behind the sandbags. He knows someone's top ramp as he heard the AK shots, then he spots the nade and jump spot. nafany will hunt down Rush, but Rush decides to swing and nafany kills him. Rush only seen one player before dying, and nafany tries to throw nades to try to pull over rotations, which he was able to pull over rotation from config. nafany loves solo pushing into A. He is not afraid to take the aim duels. nafany kills config and that opens up the A site, however Gambit stick to hitting B, which could have been a disaster as the last 2 complexity players are there, and they had plenty of time to rotate back to A. Fortunately, Exile wins the fight against Poison. You see nafany's aggression this round can open up the site. He is so good at taking the aim duels against CTs on ramp and on A. nafany, after smoking, nades behind sandbags because it's very common for CTs to swing top ramp at the start. The nade damage is frozen, and nafany hears a flash and sprays top ramp and kills him. Another way to deal with CT aggression at the start is boosting the peak over the ramp smoke towards the left side. After throwing the one-way smoke, nafany boosts Shiro, which you can see over the CT ramp smoke, and Shiro finds a kill onto Demq top ramp. It's important that you don't throw the mid-ramp smoke as it will block off your view. To switch things up, sometimes Gambit will give up ramp control at the start and retake ramp mid-round. nafany starts around with the mid-ramp smoke and holds onto his nades. As I showed before, by throwing this smoke alone, there was a clip I showed earlier where nafany grouped back B and they executed. Gambit and nafany are so good at keeping the enemy guessing based on the nades they throw. Enemy teams won't be able to counter-strat them off of this. nafany goes towards left side and clears bottom yellow as the deep ramp smoke fades. His teammates will re-smoke one way for nafany, which he uses as bait initially and peeks towards left of it on ramp. nafany tries flashing top ramp in case an opper is holding, but he misses. He will then make his way to yellow and the smoke fades. nafany mollies Ivy as CT oppers commonly play close in this angle. He hears aggressive CT nades top ramp and peeks, however won't spot anyone. nafany calls for his team to group B because the ramp retake nades could have pulled over Complexity's rotator, leaving a 4v2 on B. nafany will then try to pull more rotations by entering onto A. He nades sandbags, which does damage to Rush, and here he will look for a fight on A on contact alone, where he kills Poison, however gets traded out. The ramp retake nades cause the rotator to come back to A, leaving 2B. After nafany's nade and a kill onto Poison, this causes config to rotate, at which point Gambit hit B and JKS is stuck on an island against 3 Gambit players coming upstairs, and config is far away to help. To confuse the enemy even more, Gambit will wait to retake ramp. Ramp retake nades get thrown mid-round, and in this round they're gonna go A. Gambit will do their contact play, which you can click the annotation above for the breakdown. You see the nades thrown are very similar to the previous clip I showed. G2 will stick 3 towards mid and B. nafany has Exile throwing stair nades when he is up ramp to keep the CT rotations towards B and to possibly pull the rotator towards B. They do their contact play, and here is the perfect call against the G2 players on A. Jax is caught off guard towards Ivy, and nafany will continue to push up, and he kills Omnek, opening up the A site. nafany does a really good job massing Gambit's nades to keep the enemy guessing. One thing you want to check for as you go up ramp is the boost. These boosts are so common, especially on eco rounds and or when CTs save a rifle. nafany checks the yellow boost and he doesn't spawn anyone, and the Hobbit will check the ramp boost and he kills Kicker. The last thing I want to cover real quick is, as a ramp default player, it's about getting information. In this round, Complexity throw a lot of nades on ramp, and he hears the CT shooting from close yellow. He knows there's 3 CTs towards A, and he's going to call for the B split, which is the perfect call, as the rotator is nowhere near mid to help out, leaving a 4v2 towards B for Gambit, which they'll win the round here. To wrap up, I covered how nafany defaults T side ramp on Vertigo. nafany's aggression leads to opening up sites, as he is so good at entering on ramp and on A, causing rotations and getting information and calling off of it. He does a really good job mixing it up with his nades and calling off that as well as his teammates' nades. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Till next time, NartOutHere. Peace.